Unmute. Haha! Hi, everybody! Happy Friday! Looks like Peggy and Sherry are already in here and ready to go. I swear Peggy is always the first person in the live, like every time. At least the first person to comment. So big props to Peggy. Peggy gets the first in the word again, yes. Hi, Candy. So good to see you guys. Hi, Connie. So, yeah, Peggy is she is always on time. You know what? She might even be in here before I'm in here. Honestly, she's probably like, refresh, so she can beat me myself. But happy Friday to everybody once again. Looks like I'm frozen, so we'll give it a minute to what's the word, like refresh or something. Let me see if I can get rid of my tabs on my laptop. Hey, Kieran, get off the Wi-Fi. You're on the
Turn
Wi-Fi.
Your music off.
Hopefully that'll
No more
help.
Disney movies.
Yeah. No, we're done with Disney after that. Freaking Snow White.
Oh.
Yeah. What the heck, lady? That Snow White's been around for how long? And she wanted to make it just totally different, which I'm over all that woke stuff. Like, come on. You gotta give some of us our old childhood movies without having them changed too drastically.
Drastically.
Mm-hmm.
You gave us a new word there.
Drastically. I was like going to take a sip, so my mouth was watering for the Mountain Dew I have here today. My little brother was so generous enough to give that to me today. So this morning, I get a call from my little sister at like 5:45 in the morning, and she goes, "Hey, I need you to come pick us up. Like, we're stuck on the road. I guess her car died with her and her significant other. They work together." And so I had to go race down there, make sure that, because her hazards weren't even working. That's how down the car was. So I had to pull up behind her and put on my hazards, make sure that they were safe, and then took them to work once Dad got there and we got the car off of the highway, because that's super scary. And the amount of people that don't get over due to like hazards is insane. So I'm literally like putting my hand out the window like, get over. Can you not see this big Jeep with I have a big brake light in my wheel that's like extra big for more attention, but geez, at least they're all right. And I keep watching this to hopefully make sure that I'm not gonna pause here too many times. But on that note, I'm going to see if I can make this live go just a bit faster today, because they do need to be picked up at 2:30. So, I'm on like a time limit of 2 hours here. So, we'll make it work. Don't you worry. A lot of the things that we're doing today, they're pretty easy to put together. So I'm actually very excited to show you some of these, because I brought some crystals out again, which we're running super low on stock, so I couldn't list too many, but I have 2 crystal options up on the live shop if you didn't get to see those. They were put up this morning, so the pre-order ladies wouldn't have seen them, so make sure you get over there before they're gone. But we have the warehouse special up right now. I'm going to start that off with cart 100. There are 14 total pieces in here, and then we'll quickly go through what's in each of the cards. So we have this really pretty filigree leaf, which I'm hoping that the glare and the pausing won't disrupt the quality. Then we have this really pretty triangular pendant, which is also natural brass. You get 4 mustache blanks. So there's 4 in a pack of that. Good morning, Monica and Pam. Oh, yay! She got her Alaska treat. That makes me so happy. I love that. Then we have this pewter owl. There we go. Once the focus kicks in. And then we have a trio of owls. since I think we're out of stock like normally on these. I'm not sure that item's coming back. So if you really like that owl, I'd pick up this pack. Then we have this cute, like, I think those are sunflowers, but this cute little sunflower rectangle with some open work, which would be super easy to do some wraps on. We have this really large sand dollar that's also natural brass. Then we have this super cute arrow and heart set. They're both looped, so those are adorable. Those are artisan pewter. And then we have two more. We have this gate key, also natural brass, very detailed. And then this, I think we called it the Daisy Maiden. She is absolutely beautiful. Also in natural brass. Could you imagine that painted, though? She's gorgeous. So some of these items I don't think we even offer on the site anymore. These two we don't. This one we don't. I think the only one that we do would be the key and maybe the sand dollar and this sunflower rectangle. Hi, Joanne. So good to see you pop in too. So we only have, I think, 9 of these left. We'll do a refresh here on my count. So we only have 9 of these left, and then there's 4 of one of the crystal packs, and then 9 of the other one left. So make sure you get up there in the case that you haven't seen those yet. I think that's one of the bots.
Which was the International. Hi, you are fine. Thanks.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
Corey. Oh, who is it? Gerard, you are finest. You are the finest.
Peggy, you're hilarious.
Hideous owl.
She's like, get rid of the owl. We're on our way. Those are almost sold out. I think she's talking about this one, maybe.
Gerard.
At least in pewter. I think we only have a few more of those left, but I think we have an overstock of natural brass. Unless she's talking about that oh, sorry, I was moving the mouse. Yeah, or maybe she's talking about that copper owl or something. But this is the warehouse special. There are a little bit more detailed pictures on the live shop. So you can shop from here in the comments section by typing in what is in parentheses at the top of the screen. So for instance, cart 100, and then you send it, and then that will prompt your cart to start in your messenger app. So you can check out straight from your messenger app. And if you don't feel comfortable shopping on Facebook, totally understandable. I get it. You can go to vintageliveshop.com and you can see all the listings there, and then you can just follow along with the demo here as well. If you have any additional questions, Vintage and Uncle Doug here will be in the comments answering those.
Should we bump Gerard, or do you want to keep getting his compliments?
I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
He loves your excellent smile.
I'll do like an ugly smile or something.
Yeah.
No.
This one's for you, Gerard.
How funny. So, you guys, pick up the good deals today, and then if you have any... Oh, she's talking about the copper owl. Yeah, I know. We're still trying to get rid of that stock. I kind of like it for Halloween, but Halloween only. Maybe I'll come up with a really flattering way to make that piece work. Now that Peggy has given me the challenge to make the copper owl not ugly... Well, that will be a challenge, but I am willing to take on that challenge. Oh, dang. Monica said it's snowing there. Not here.
Nice today.
It's a little chilly, though. Just a little bit.
It might get worse. Oh, talking about Gerard might get worse. We'll see.
Oh, well. We'll see. They can push my video. I don't care.
Go buy something, Gerard.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll talk to you. So, and then if you have any other questions, like unrelated to the live today, you can email warehouse@vintage.com. That is the email here. And if you have any questions for design,
what site, Kent?
You can email vintage or liveshop@vintage.com. So hopefully you're on the right tab because you want to copy that. And then we'll paste this into Facebook here. Control, whoop, and enter. You tag team that one. So I just popped in the comments there the live shop warehouse sale tab. So if you can't get to it from the website link down there. You can click the link that is in the comments. Hi, Janet. All right, so this is the Warehouse Daily Special. We went over this, so I'm going to pop this off the screen so we can dig in so I can make my timeline work today. Gee Louise, that was a whole bunch of stuff, but we have some really great things for you to offer today, and I think we may as well start off with, we'll do, okay. I'm like trying to pick out which one I really want to do first. Or probably do this frame first, because this frame, we don't have a whole lot left. I think we're already under 10. But this is a gorgeous frame, and I knew this was also a very highly sought after piece. So we're going to zoom in down here. Okay, it looks like Vintage is also putting that in there as well. Thank you. So our first, other than the Warehouse Daily Special, we're going to pop on this frame pack. There are 10 left, so there isn't a whole lot, but I'm going to bring out the inspiration I did with this pack, and the frame packs are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to slide this over just a tad so we can bring this up, and then we'll bring on the piece behind as well. That's so strange, Janet. I have mine opened on the computer, so I'm not sure why yours isn't opening. I apologize for that in advance. She says the wings of the owl, of that copper owl, are freaky. That's okay.
You could bend them or cut them or do.
Yeah.
You could do something.
I'll figure out something
unique
to do with it. Yeah, something flattery. It'll be a good challenge for me anyway. So I will be stopping and freezing a little bit throughout the live, it looks like. So just bear with us for the time being, and we'll see if we can make this go pretty quickly. But these are our natural brass frames. I'm going to try and just slowly show you the offerings because they're a little bit blurry right now. Dang, we were really hoping for a good connection day. It always seems like when you first get your fiber installed, it's super amazing, and then after 6 months to a year, it goes down in quality, which is super strange. But this is the frame that you are seeing there. This will be cart 101. You get 8 pieces for $20. Thanks, Peggy. Hi, Carmen. This is super adorable. And then this is the necklace that I have created with it. I did see that beautiful long component, Sherry. I didn't even recognize it, so I'm not even sure if that's a vintage piece, but I definitely would think that it's vintage for sure. But before I go over this here, I'm just going to show you how pretty the Rivolis lay in this frame in case you want to take some F20s and do a wrap or wrap something behind or over top of it, but those Rivolis fit super nicely within the frame. So if you're looking for some other inspiration, there it is. We'll see if I can pop this up here so you guys can see a little bit closer. So yeah, if you did some wrapping, that would be absolutely gorgeous, or had it lay behind or even in front of. So these frames are super cool. And I'm going to pop these Rivolis here off to the side. Over here, probably, somewhere. Ooh, actually, after this item, then we're going to show you guys the giveaway, because I almost forgot about that. I know. I was just looking at it. It's super gorgeous. So make sure you have your hearts on, and then we'll talk about that after. this first selection here. So once again, cart 101 for 8 pieces of this frame. And then the pendant here, there we go, up close. I have taken one of those silver hearts and riveted it just perfectly within that frame so the pattern here would kind of show out that open work side. Hi Lisa and Kimmy. So super easy construction here. I'm going to bring out these hearts next. So I'm going to pop this up just a little bit here. And Chris is in here as well. So good to see everybody. I love you guys. All right. This heart was also shown riveted on a copper blank for my warehouse ladies. So if you really liked that copper blank with the heart, this is the heart that we had attached to it. There we go. And don't forget about the Loot subscription. I think Ainsley's doing a demo on maybe, Wednesday for that Loot, possibly. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for the warehouse Loot as well. So we're going to pop up the heart pack here next. There we go. Cart 102, 10 pieces for $20. Super adorable. Such a great pattern. Once it loads there we go. So pretty. And it's even got all the lines that come down.
A lot of detail in there.
Mm-hmm. So imagine that. This is a brass heart, but it is plated in antique silver. So it's plated over, or brass with a plating over top. Antique silver. So all you do, which I'm not going to do it because I need to save these pieces because I'm sure that they'll sell out by Monday. But let me see if I can grab my beetle here. Just below this loop here that we have, you're going to make a hole punch like right in this area. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. So you're going to make a hole punch right here. And then that will give you the space. You'll have to use your bead awl to kind of expand that hole just a little bit. But then you take your heart and your piece and you're going to put them together with that hole on the other side. So how I did it is I lined up the heart like this on the back to make sure that all of the points were inside the frame. And then I took my hole punch here. I might have one extra piece, so I'll just do it for you guys so you guys can see it. Oh, it's on Monday. Cool. She's going to be doing it on Monday. So I lined my piece up where I need it, so there's, none of those edges poking on the outside of the frame. I'm going to take my hole punch here, put it right in that loop of the heart, and then make my punch. And then I'm going to pull it out. I know, Terry, isn't this frame absolutely just gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then that's your hole and your hole placement. So in the case that you don't want to line them up, there we go. Put them together. And then you'll have your rivet that goes through. And then you'll hammer your rivet until it's flat and is holding your two pieces together. How adorable, super cute, so easy, and so detailed. I mean, both of these pieces are so incredibly detailed. That is gorgeous. I love that the quality is showing up super nicely for you guys right now. Absolutely pretty. I'm gonna actually pull these two pieces off since I've used them for now, because I don't want to give you guys a piece that has a hole in it if you don't want the holes pre-done. Hi, Stephanie! So good to see you. as well. So we'll flop back to the frame here. The natural brass frame pack, 8 pieces for $20. Cart 101. And then the heart pack is cart 102, 10 pieces for $20. So we only have 9 of those frames left. We're looking still pretty good on the hearts in the case that you want those. Some of these we have a bit higher of a quantity of, but the blank pack, the raindrop blank pack, the frame pack that I'm showing you right now, the crystal packs, and the warehouse special are all under 10. So I have no doubt that those will sell out by Monday, so you will want to grab these if you want them, for sure. I'm trying to keep an eye on the quantities to give you guys some live feedback on how we're doing on those. So I'm going to pull this off. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, come on. How pretty is that? So pretty. Cool. So I'm going to pop that off to the side here. We'll go over the giveaway for anybody that loves this video. You do have to make a purchase to claim the little loot here that we have. So make sure that you are purchasing and have a love reaction on the video. The care reaction won't work. We're not doing that. We are only doing them by the love reaction. So we'll take this heart pack off the screen. Get out of here. All right. This is our giveaway for today. Very colorful. I was like, don't freeze, Coria, not on the good part. And we'll bring my little trusty. So this is a plastic tray, and I took a bead mat and I adhered it to the bottom of the tray so the bead mat doesn't come out. And it is perfect. It's a perfect bead tray. It's a perfect metal tray. Love it. And it doesn't get super, super loud. Lori, so good to see you. We did just go over how to do one of the necklaces, but in the case that you want to watch the replay, I think you'll really like it. So we're going to dump this out. Such a good giveaway, you guys. I'm so happy that Doug came up with this idea because it's been super fun. So it looks like we have some chain in here, some different chain. Looks like some gold and silver bar chain, some nice finer chain. Looks like we have some curb here. Looks like there's a ring, a butterfly, unicorn pendant. That's pretty cool, that leaf. So pretty. Yes, I posted the crystals this morning. We haven't shown those on the... That's cool. On the shop, or on the live yet. This really cool frame. So there's just like a sneak peek. Oh, it's a big piece of filigree. Love it. So pretty. So all you have to do is love the video. By the end of the video, we do the drawing at the end of the video. Just ensure that you have a purchase made so we can send this your direction in the case that you win. Super fun. Lovely.
Did you address Sherry? Said she purchased yesterday's account.
Yes, that counts. Yep. If you made a purchase for the live, then you have until
Connie's got the same question. Yes, Connie.
Or Sunday night. Yes, they do. So you have until Sunday from Thursday night pre-order through Sunday night. You have the opportunity to purchase for this giveaway. So make sure that you have a love by the end of the video. We'll remind you at the end, and then you'll have a chance to get this giveaway. So fun. All right. Pop that off the screen. Perfect, Carmen. She purchased earlier, so she will be able to be entered for that giveaway. Aren't the crystals gorgeous? We'll show those here very soon. We just went over one of the frame packs and one of the heart packs. Let's get into these raindrop blanks next. just because we have a smaller quantity of these as well. So I want to go over them pretty quickly. Such a steal of a deal. 30 pieces for $18. These are solid brass raindrop blanks. And then we're going to pull out these earrings here that I made with them. Did some paint on these. And we'll come way down close. Try and get a good view. Hopefully it'll stop shifting back and forth. Cool. Jean said she loved and shared. No worries, Jean. Janet sent a heart. Cool beans. So, we're going to go over this here quickly, and then you can see that I have offered the Native Spirit feather again. This one's a little bit more of the detailed version than the other one. We are paused for a second. I'm like, come on, stop pausing. And I don't want to show you guys unless it's like super clear. So hopefully this fuzziness will clear up pretty quickly. It'll be a good moment for me to take another drink.
Talk about rock bands.
Mm-hmm.
Or weekend plans.
Yeah, you can tell me about your weekend plans that you have coming up. I always like hearing about those. Looks like we're still a little bit fuzzy, but I think we'll be okay. So cart 103, 30 pieces for $18. These are solid brass raindrop blanks. There we go. Looks like we're starting to clear up just a bit now. So pretty. And then we'll show you the earrings here. So we'll show you the painted portion. And then we threw a feather over top. And then this cute little coppery bead, which I don't have a lot of those, but I'll show you how I did the loop at least, so you guys can figure out how I did that, or don't have to figure out how I did that. I need to grab my hammer and my block. Oh, she's got her craft room, clean up her crap.
Girls karaoke room. Party tonight.
Oh. Ooh, that sounds fun. All right, let me get my hammer out of here without wrecking the rest of my tools. All right, so you can see that there's a little bit of a texture going on to these blanks. I'll pop those up, pop these off to the side a bit. That's pretty good. Pretty. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of hammer time. I'm not going to mute for this because it shouldn't take too long, but I am going to bring my phone up so I don't smash the heck out of my camera. Oh, look at how close that is. Don't smash it, Corian.
That lens, no, move it higher. They don't need to see
Uncle Doug's like, move it higher. Just in case you like whack it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, I'm just going to come in around the sides. I'm not going to...
That's a great graphic right there. Look at the camera when you're doing it.
That's funny. You can see like the reflection of my phone.
Right.
Like, come on. There's me. I'm in the end of the hammer. How funny. So you're going to be doing some randomized hammering, but I kind of cut it off about right here. So I'm going to make a straight line across with hammering and then go down. You know, Peggy loves those hammer sounds. It looks like I froze through some of that, so hopefully there wasn't too many hammering dinks for ya. Here we go. So cute. I love anything that's hammered or organic looking, so that just works out perfect every time. And then let me take a closer look at this one, actually, because I used some hematite and clay and a little bit of verdigris, it looks like. But we'll do some hematite and clay first, because I think that that's all I used for this. It's been a minute since earlier this week. I need to write down the colors that I use instead of just eyeballing it. But I have a decent memory, so I'm sure that we're ending up pretty close on the dot anyway. Getting some paper towel for this gorgeousness. Yeah. I mean, it looks like there's some green in there, but I'm almost positive that the green was coming from the clay over top of the solid brass here. So I'm going to come in just straight from my nozzle, not a super thick coat, and leave the bubbles. You'll leave the bubbles on this one if you have bubbles. Not like super big bubbles, but if they're small bubbles, leave the bubbles. Just because it adds to the texture and the organicness of the raindrop here. So just a nice thin layer so it kind of dries a bit faster. That's pretty good. Maybe just a little bit more. I think that's a little bit more than what I was looking for. We'll see. Well, that fills in pretty nice, actually. There we go. A nice hematite as your base. Actually, bring this in just a little bit closer, to be honest. Did you add a spice to the paint? No, I didn't. So I know sometimes out in Idaho, I think Mackie and Wendy were adding some turmeric, I think it was, to some of their stuff. This one, you don't need to add any of the spices. All I do is just leave some of the bubbles. And then you'll see what else I do to kind of give it that organic look without having to add the spices. But I think adding the spices was a great idea. I just don't have spices here that I would use for that. But you will be needing a reliefing block. So I'm going to take my paper towel. It's not fully dry. Don't let it fully dry, but let it adhere just a little bit. And I'm going to kind of tap it so I get some of these bubbles. See the bubbles there? Didn't do like a wipe, didn't do like a whole picking up, just a couple taps, and then it leaves some bubbles. Because the bubbles will pop eventually, and then they'll give you that texture that you're looking for. That I was looking for, at least. Alright. And then this is the clay paint. So we're using hematite and clay. And then just watch how this is what I did. I used hematite and clay only. Watch how the clay makes some sort of like little green look when it hits the brass once it's spread out. It's actually kind of crazy. So I need to grab a brush here. Just a silicone brush. It doesn't matter what tip you're using, as long as you have a silicone brush. Because I don't think I used a bristle brush for this one. And I'm just going to tap it around into the hematite. And then we're going to go over with a little bit more hematite. But yeah, not popping bubbles. Just leave them normal. Tap that around, throw that in your water, and then go back with your paper towel here and kind of do that same thing where you're just picking it up. So then we have that greeny tone with the hematite, and then you're going to go back over with some more hematite. Bubbles, no spice. I love that. Bubbles, no spice. with some more hematite. Just kind of there in the center because that's where we picked up with our clay. I'm going to come back on that same, once it loads here, with that same spot on my thing and just go over it just a bit, leaving the bubbles. And then once that dries, I might even add just a tiny bit more of that clay. But I'm gonna take the clay straight to my paper towel this time. So I'm not putting too much on, but I'm leaving some room for a little bit more hematite there. That's gonna be coming back into that middle. So it's like a layering process. And that's how you really achieve, with like keeping the bubbles and things, that extra texture that I have on those other ones. Using that same spot on my paper towel. That's actually, I almost like that a little bit more with that little center golden. So I'm not going to add any more hematite to that. But I am going to let that dry, and then we'll bring that back over. But I'm going to let it dry while I'm showing you the looping of the copper bead. So we'll let that dry up here. I'll pop this down here. Kind of in the corner so you guys can still see it. And then we have this copper bead here that I have attached. And it's a 2-loop into the rest of it as a, it's like a double loop with a messy curling action here. So show you how to do that while that other one's drying into its colors. So I had a copper bead, but I don't have many of these, so I couldn't offer it in the pack, but I'm going to grab an HPF 15. This is a natural brass head pin, but it's the smaller. It's like thinner, much thinner. The HPF 15 and the HPF 25 are nice and thin, so they're super easy for doing those double loops there. Lori, just because I like to have things just a little bit different. So normally probably somebody would cover the whole thing, but I like the way that it looks with just the top of it not covered. But you can go all the way. That's not a problem at all. I just really prefer the look of this. So I'm going to pop this up. There we go. So our bead here is at the end of our pin. Grab some round nose pliers. And I come down here, nice and tight to that bead. And I'm going to wrap one loop, and then I'm going to put it into the middle of my pliers there. So now we're sitting here. Hopefully you guys, okay, that's a pretty good view. And I'm going to take another loop around. So now we're at a double loop, like this. Then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and kind of bring those 2 loops together there. Sometimes it's hard to do with your nail and you don't want to break your pretty nails, right? So then I get them together. Oh, just a little bit in there too. And I'm going to take this end after I have my 2 loops there. Trying to make sure you guys can still see. And then you can kind of move your loops after the fact, but you can sit here and kind of round it if you need to. And then hold it right at the top. Take your chain nose at the end of your head pin here and wrap it around the base of your 2 loops that you're holding still with your round nose. Don't let go. Otherwise, something very bad's going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. You can let go if you want, but I like to keep it nice and tight as I'm going around. That's pretty good. I'm going to release my round nose. I'm going to pinch my 2 loops together. And then with this tail here that I still have, I'm going to take this tail here. I'm going to take my flush cutters. I about said flesh. Not my flush cutters, my flush cutters. And get right into that tail. Nice and close to that base. Karen, you're very right. There we go. And then I'm going to kind of hold those 2 loops together to straighten out my bead. And then if I have a little bit of a tail left, I'm going to just kind of press that in with my chain nose pliers. So it's nice and close and we don't have any of those protruding tail ends. So this is a double loop with the base tied like that. So it's just a little extra detail. You can do a single loop, double loop, triple loop. I thought the double loop was super cute though. And I'll pop this up a little bit because this is probably pretty dry now. Looks good. And then I have these feathers. So I offered these feathers last week, but I thought they'd be also super pretty for this week. So they are super detailed. Cart 104 if you want these beautifuls. I think there's 24. Let me double check. 24 pieces for $20. So also a no-brainer because they're so cute. They could be flesh cutters, Peggy, but I choose not to cut my flesh with them. It will be flesh cutters from now on. Hopefully, yeah. So here, I'll give you a closer look at that texture that we got going on. This is without spice. This is just with some bubble work and some layering. And then I'm going to I took a JR 106. Hold on, let me pop one of those out here. You guys will love these jump rings. These are the JR 106 in natural brass. I believe we have them plated on the website as well. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining. But I used this jump ring to compile them all together. We might as well just open her up here, since we have it, and then this will be just another giveaway piece for you ladies who spend over $200. So I'm going to string on my copper bead that's looped so cute, and then I'm going to string on my feather, which I might need an awl for. Nope, we're good. I might need an awl for my raindrop blank. Yeah, let me just awl that real quick. So I'm going to take my bead awl. Anything that's just a little bit too small, I'm going to make it just a tiny bit bigger with my awl here. I'll do it up here too, just because I need to take a good old peek at that. And I'm going to string my teardrop blank on the behind, and then I'm going to close it up. And it could be a super pretty necklace too. So this is like the cutest set ever. Right there. 2 earrings and a necklace. How adorable is that? I love it. I'm going to pop up that blank pack one more time. 30 pieces for $18. These will be probably sold out by Monday. So grab them if you want the teardrop blanks. Aww. Sorry about that. Of course, Karen. She got a really cool dragonfly piece last week because she spent a good amount of money. We love to thank you for thanking us, for thanking you, for thanking us. Just the back and forth. We love it. Alright, I'll pop that over there. But so cute. So if you want less of that solid brass color in there, just keep layering. But I really liked kind of how that glows in the middle and leaving it kind of more on the outskirts. So we're just gonna do it that way from now on because I just love the center glow that's coming out. Alright. So adorable. I'm gonna pop those off the screen now. I don't think I have anything else with those blanks or those feathers. So don't forget to pick up some packs of those. And then I used ER006 for the ear wire here. Hi Taya, thanks for joining. Like I just barely saw your comment as I was turning my head. Alright, so for the ladies that spend over $200, you guys get these little trinkets or some of the half-made things that I make in the warehouse sale. So don't forget that as well. I'm going to pop that off to the side there and kind of clean this up just a tiny bit. Alright, so these blanks are out of here. I'm going to slide those away up there. And then we'll take a peek into, let's do these swirls next, probably. These are super cute. So I don't have bulk of the opposite side, but I have bulk in this one. So if you want the opposite side, I'm not sure if we have them on wholesale, but I know for sure that we do have them on retail. So I believe this is the DP214, and then there is DP213. There is a right side, which is this side, and then there is a left side on the retail site. I have both of those item numbers in the product description for you on vintagelifeshop.com in the case that you need them. So you can get 12 pieces for $22. I believe Jean did some really cool things with not this item specifically, but items that have these little loops in here with like adding resin or beads and things, which I think would be super cute. I just didn't have the time to quite do that. But I did make this super cute bracelet with them together. So it's got that bracelet curve once we stop freezing here. Big sad face. There we go. It's like, stop freezing. So this is the same side. This is the right side that we have. It would be cute if you did a right side and a left side, but I didn't have quite enough stock to offer the left side. So if you want opposite sides, go visit the retail site and you can grab the other side. Both of the item numbers are in the listing, but this is both of the right sides together. And they were just riveted with this super pretty filigree butterfly that I have offered before, but I wanted to bring it back out because it's so cute. And the swirls, the openwork swirls with the openwork butterfly filigree, I thought were perfect together. So once this, I'm going to bring my butterflies out when this decides to load back up again. You guys are so sweet. I'm going to pop up each of your comments because they're adorable. Peggy said she loves this bracelet. Kimmy said so pretty. Terry said so delicate. Love it. I love this bracelet myself. And we'll do the look of everything at the end as well, so you guys can see what it looks like on. So cart 105, 12 pieces for $22. This is super, super easy to do. But I can't tell you how many times that I have done this piece specifically, but tried different things of making it work, and this is the one way that it did work. So I have a bunch of other ones that I'll be throwing in orders that aren't as beautiful, but Don't worry. You can make something just as beautiful. So we have our 2 swirls like this. Come on. Stop freezing. Let's see. I think Debbie said it was also so pretty and awesome looking. Cindy said, love that bracelet. Ooh, you could definitely. Lori, if you hammer it, you could reverse one. Definitely. All right. So for this bracelet specifically, grab your rivets. Ribbit. I'm not the frog. So funny. Okay. So I also had this little spacer disc back here, which I don't have those offered today. I have a different spacer disc offered today, which can be used if you cut it down, because I had to cut down the other one. This is that flower spacer. Super cute. So I'll just use one of these. This is the other one. This, I think it's HW0063. Maybe. This is just a flat washer, but I thought the flower washer was way more pretty. So we're just going to use that one. Take your cutters. Actually, the other is the eye-shaped bracelet. Oh, I know. That mandala bracelet is so cute. So I'm going to take my cutters here and hopefully not get Uncle Doug in the eyeball. That's what I'm doing. But sometimes they still, get out of my hand. So I'm just going to chop some of this off. But we're not chopping the whole. Keep that there. I just didn't want to see a washer going over that butterfly. There we go. I'm like, I don't want to send these pieces flying. And come all the way. I'm like, really trying not to make these shoot everywhere. Maybe I'll just fold that one off. So I'm just I'm making the washer a bit smaller just because the hole is a little bit larger for the rivet head to kind of go over. I'm actually going to just use my shears. Oh, I dropped one of my other. Dang. Those rolled a lot farther than what I thought they were going to. I might need... There are my pliers here. I'm just going to hold that. There we go. With my shears. Oh, who said... I just saw somebody tag me in something. They're like, I'm always worried about my fingers when I'm following Corian with her shears, is what I saw. Her fingertips. I forget who said that, but I thought it was kind of funny. Okay. So you can hold it with your pliers here, as long as you, don't get yourself. It's a lot easier to snip it when you have something else holding it. Alright. After you're done snipping and making your washer super small, don't forget to file. So I take the item in my hand with the pliers here and hold it as I file all of the sharp edges away. Because we don't want anything sharp, especially by our veins on a bracelet. No, for real. Yeah. No sharp things. We like the smooth things. Okay, that's pretty good. So I just went from this size of a washer to this size of a washer. That's a pretty big size difference. But it helps immensely. And then I'm going to take my bench block here. And I'm going to take my bead awl. And on this filigree flower, or butterfly, filigree flower, what am I saying? this hole, this loop is pretty thin. So just very slowly use your awl to extend that hole for your rivet, but do it slow so you don't break your loop there. Where's my rivet? Every time I say rivet now, I think of ribbit, like a frog.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, Uncle Doug. All right. That might just be a little bit too small yet. So I'm going to extend it just a little bit more, very slowly, so I don't break that loop. Oh yeah, that should start sliding down. Nice. Oh, Candy has both. So good. So then you can make this bracelet with both the left and the right side. So my rivet is pointed through down there at the bottom. I'm going to take my swirls on either side, slide those onto the rivet. And then you can move these as you go. And then I'm going to take this washer that I have clipped down, put that over top, because the hole of the washer, hold on, come down a bit more. The hole of the washer is just like the perfect size for the rivet there to kind of mushroom over it, because the hole on this is too big for the rivet to mushroom over it. So you want to use some sort of washer that you can find. I'm going to bring this up so I don't hit my camera as I hammer that down. There it is. Like, where's my hammer? I use this side first. Usually, sometimes I only use that side. But I'm going to hold down with 2 fingers on either side of my swirls. Just be careful that your washer stays on there. And that's why I use the smaller side of my hammer, so I don't sit here and whack my fingers. Yeah. I can't though, because I have to hold it down at a certain spot. So that's why we use the small side of the hammer. And then slowly get that mushroom going from your rivet. You can see that we're moving around a little bit, but that's not gonna do anything, because that makes it or ensures that you can move it into the appropriate spots when needed before you really clamp down the whole thing. See how we are. Just a little bit more, probably on this top side. So I'm going to take my pliers here. I'm just going to squeeze just a little bit out here, just so I can see. Just so it lines up pretty good. Continue my hammer. It's looking pretty good. Probably could have centered that just a little bit more, but that's okay. And then do you mind looking up just washer?
That hurts?
Yeah. Because I'm gonna, okay. And can you click into that standard one? So, okay, I was right. HW0063 is the flat washer. And then I believe it's 6.2 for the one that I have on the live shop. So the one that Uncle Doug just put in there, commented, that's the other one that I used for this one up there. Then I'm going to take my other pliers. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of a bend here, like a bracelet bend. I'm going to shift my butterfly just a bit. I'm going to start down at this end, just slightly bend it. Go on to the other end. Slightly bend it. Looking pretty good. Could have done my butterfly the other way, but... And then it sits super pretty on your wrist. And then that's why I was like, oh, I just want to make this into a bracelet. Like, I just think it's the cutest thing. It's so delicate, super detailed still. But I think this one's... No, that's the same. I was going to say maybe I did it on opposite sides, but very much the same. So beautiful. Love it. But it's also so easy. And if you have items that you want to rivet, but the hole on the piece is too big, dabble in those washers for real. And if you want to experiment, the washers that I have on the shop, which I also used for the crystal washers, I'm going to pop those up on the screen right now because why not? So these are the washers that will feature a little bit later when we do the crystals as well. These are the daisy washer packs. You can get 75 pieces for $20. This is a great way to experiment with washers, and you'll probably use them all the time. And not only can you use them as washers, but you can rivet them onto leather. You can rivet them anywhere to kind of give a little bit more detail to whatever project you're working on. If you angled the swirls, it would be a very pretty pendant. It would be. Most definitely, Monica. But these washers are super amazing for so many different kinds of projects. So I really highly suggest either getting them here or going to the retail site or even the wholesale site to pick up a pack that you can experiment with. These ones are a bit more pretty for embellishing things. The other ones are just flat. So these are our daisy washers, and then the other ones we have in the comments are just straight and flat. So cute. Definitely recommend getting a pack of those, especially for $20 for a lot of pieces to experiment with is a no-brainer. So we're going to pull these off. We'll bring them back in a little bit though. Just a little bit, because I think we're going to pop over to that mandala eye here very shortly as I clean up some of these. A small bead cap would work as a washer too, right? Absolutely, Candy. You can flatten that bead cap and use that as a washer, or, oh yeah, Carrie said too, the spacers. An eyelet would work. Yes.
If you didn't break that fragile butterfly, you know.
Yeah, I think the eyelets are the same size as the rivets here, so that probably should work. I think that would be super adorable, actually, because then you could do like a jewel or something hanging off the other side or hanging down from here. So pretty. But with Jean's kind of her and Ainsley, I believe, did some resin work. If you did some resin dots of paint in there, I think that would be so beautiful, and that's such a perfect way to add color to this bracelet. So if you do your little resin drops and cure them, maybe I'll see if I have some time on Monday to kind of play with that a little bit, because I think that would absolutely just make the bracelet even better, because it's so cute already, but just a pop of color would be so gorgeous.
Or even if you make the colors the same as the brass, even.
Oh yeah,
it would be
to
a
fill
really
them
pretty
in.
compliment to the fastener.
See, why doesn't Uncle Doug do some lives, you guys? All right, I'm gonna pop those off to the side. We're gonna get our mandala eye out here, because this is such a pretty piece and it's such a heavy piece. It's expensive, but I love it. Let's bring that out here. Bam, bam. Let me find it on my thing here. Pendant pack. $25. once that gets up here for 4 pieces. Because this retails, I think, for $12.50. I think. And while I'm paused here up on screen there, I'm going to take another drink. I'm going to take my chances.
Pause sip.
Mm-hmm. These normally retail for like $12.50 a piece. So $25 for 2. You're basically buying 2, getting 2 for free. If that makes sense. But I have 6 out here so I can kind of demonstrate. I always do the product photos in quantities of 6 now, just because I feel like that's been working super well for all of the listings. Hopefully this stops pausing, because that's really getting to be bothersome. Alright. So this is that mandala eye bracelet. Yeah, Pam said, what about jewelry for men? Why don't you do some lives, Peggy says. You.
Accessory. I know, I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
It's because we value our audience. We don't want to do that to them.
Whatever. So funny. Alright, we'll give you a closer look at this painted portion. There we go. It's like once it stops freezing.
Jeez, that's a crazy piece.
I love it. It's even more pretty when it's
painted.
Amazing. Here, I'll bring out like a little bit of a darker piece here next to. That really just makes it. That's so beautiful. Such a good piece. It's such a good price because it's so expensive. $12.50 retail, you guys. So make sure you grab this. You basically get 2 for buying 2. Such a good deal. And then we'll go over how to paint it. But up here in these spots, let me point them out for you. Here, here, and here. Maybe. So start in the middle, make a hole punch, and go to either side and make a hole punch. Same for the other side. And then that's how I got my triple layer bracelet action going on. Thought that it needed a little bit of a thicker bracelet just because it's a thicker piece. And I thought that that worked out perfect. So we are going to paint this. It's so fun to paint. It's like a coloring book, you guys. Not even kidding. And I'll tell you the colors that I used for this. Sandstone. I think it was Griffin Wing. And some clay. Kind of use the same colors in a way as the other ones. But I need a fine-tipped silicone brush for these. Alright, and I'm going to bring out a baggie so we can do our paint on that so we don't get it on my nice background here. Alright, so I started out with sandstone first. Shake up your paint bottles before applying. I'm actually going to bring that up a bit so we can kind of zoom in a little bit on this piece. Come down, come down. There we go. That's pretty good. I'm going to bring this there. Once it stops shifting itself. Cool. That looks like a good spot. Alright. So we're going to start off with some sandstone, which is probably one of my all-time favorite vintage colors. I love that it's just off-white. It's perfect. Just get a nice little pool of that going. And I'm going to fill in my most outer portion. So I'm going to dip my silicone brush in there. And I'm just going to take the tip of it and put it into the corner. And then spread it. Because I don't want it to necessarily get on the lines too much. And just put it in the corner and then spread. And then we're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to do this a little bit more quickly than the time that I spent on it earlier. Just because we're on a time crunch today. All thanks to my little sister for breaking down. All good, though. All good. I love her. I told her she can call me anytime. So with iPhones, there's this thing that you can do. I don't like having my notifications on for anything. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. Text messages, phone calls, my notifications, emails, everything. They're all turned off. I don't like to be on my phone unless I need to be on my phone. And I feel like if I see a notification, it just makes me want to answer it. So I have all of that stuff turned off, but for my best friend, she obviously gets the privilege of having this for me, but I have her, my dad, my mom, my two brothers, and my little sister, and Ian. They are all on this thing called emergency bypass. So in the case that all my notifications are turned off, my phone is silent, doesn't get a vibration at all because I hate all of that. Literally, it will not get my attention unless one of them calls. But if they call, just their text tones and just their ringtones end up making a sound. So I am not bothered by anybody other than those people specifically. Sorry, Uncle Doug. Sorry.
Hey, when Dad's in Virginia permanent, I bet that'll change.
Oh no, he stays on that just in case, like if.
No, I mean you'll need.
Oh, Dad's on it. Dad's on emergency.
When he's in Virginia, you might need someone a little bit closer.
Oh yeah, in the case that something happens.
Yeah, that's.
But
emergencies.
All of their text tones and ringtones are on emergency bypass, so they're literally the only people that can get a hold of me during. That's why sometimes my phone will like go black for a minute during a live, because if Ian calls me and he doesn't remember that I have a live on Friday, his ringtone comes through as an emergency bypass. So I love that, and it helps you stay off of technology just a little bit more, because people are just so addicted to that stuff. They're on computers all day for work, then they go home and watch TV, and then they're on their phones all the time. I can't do that. I have to have some sort of technology break, because it seemed like that's all I was doing, was just being on technology all the time. So give yourself some break, especially if you have an iPhone, because those settings are amazing for things like that. But anywho, we have gone down to our next section of petals here. I always use the paints all the way up as long as I can. So I like to do, instead of going from outside to inside, I like to use it by color. So we're doing sandstone around this beautiful flower here. This floral mandala eye. Because it's so pretty. We're just going into those little crevices. We're almost done with the sandstone. Looks like I went out of the line a little bit there, but that's okay because I haven't added color to that section yet. Going all the way around, trying to go just a little bit quicker. I'm going to scoop up the rest of my sandstone here because I'm just about running out, but it looks like I'm almost done. So that was honestly like the perfect droplet that I could have done. The most perfect droplet. Cool. Alright, sandstone finished. So we've gone around in sandstone, and we've gone around again into that center here with the sandstone. Then I'm going to come in with some clay next. While the sandstone dries. That's a little bit more clay then. Oh, that's awesome. Monica says she has her phone set up like that too. It's such a relief sometimes. So I'm going to add my clay up above that one sandstone line that I have. It might bleed a little bit, but that's okay, because that's where you're going to get some of this extra coloring in here that I've got in the finished version. So we're just going to kind of just add little dots into those sections there. The sandstone and the clay is such a beautiful pairing of colors. It's very summery. Get it all the way around. I think we're doing pretty good on time here. But I love just being able to do some painting and some chatting. Because painting is such a release. It's such an artistic release.
I sound like Bob Ross.
I'm Bob Ross.
Look out the window. Make a happy cloud.
Yeah. Make the trees. Oh, the happy little cloud. We watched a Bob Ross episode in the college course of graphic design that I had taken in high school. That was super fun.
Hey, so Kimmy's got a good question here.
Yep.
Is the loot sub going to be like the backstage as it'll go out the next month after paid?
Yes.
She's anxious to know. We did a little different though. We said 15 days the first time, and then we're going to do it at the beginning of the month, right?
So Jean and I actually just chatted about this yesterday. Okay, never mind. I was like, did I miss a color here? Yes, I'll get to that in just a second. Let me just make sure that I said purple. I need to add just a little bit more sandstone in the middle. Okay. So, technically, Kimmy. So, we started the loot in March. And so, we are going to be shipping the first section of loots on the 15th of this month. Okay? And so, Ainsley is going to be doing like a little demonstration on Monday about it. But we're going to be doing the March people that paid and the April people that paid will be getting this first loot that we are offering. Okay? You will not get double charged. We have moved the subscription dates for anybody that purchased in March. So the ladies that got purchased in March will not get charged for April, but will get their subscriptions or they'll be shipping out on Monday with the rest of these. And then if you order after that, then they'll be shipping on, I believe, the 1st. And then come March, April, then come May, we're starting a new loot, if that makes sense. Because it's a little confusing, I know. It was a little confusing for us, too.
Starting it off is always a little bit tricky.
Especially if you do it in, like, just a few days before the month starts. So just know that the ladies who purchased in March and the beginning of April, your loot subscriptions will be shipping this Monday. And if you purchase from, Monday through April or whatever, you'll be getting the same loot, but it will be shipped just a little bit later, if that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. I'm sorry. Ainsley will go into some more detail on Monday when she's showing the loot stuff. I'm actually going to bring out this amethyst. So we have sandstone in there, clay in there. Now we're bringing out some amethyst. Which we're going to fill in the rest of our spots with some amethyst.
After you paint that, do you go over it with a block to take all the paints off the top edges?
Yep, and then that kind of smooths out some of the extra paints to give it a little bit more of a texture and like a mixed feeling. So I used amethyst for this just because it was a lighter purple instead of that griffin wing, but I think griffin wing would still be super pretty, but I believe the amethyst is a little bit more of a summery color versus that griffin wing. I think griffin wing's a little bit more of a fall, winter purple than it would be a summer purple.
So how do we sign up? Carrie wants to know.
Carrie, you can sign up if you go to vintageliveshop.com. There is a tab that says Corian's Warehouse Loot Subscription. or something of the sort, and it will be the only item available in that tab. So then you'll be able to get all the details right in there. I believe Vintage is also listening, so there we go. They just popped it up for you.
Boom.
Right in the comments.
Boom.
You didn't even need to do it. They're on top of it over there. So I'm spreading this amethyst around. And you don't need super perfect fine lines, you ladies, just because of we want some sort of color meshing going on when we use the reliefing block.
Yeah, that's what I asked about that, because I wondered if that was going to cure some of it, and it just gives artistic to the
yeah, and then it kind of, can you tell that there's like a little bit of that clay that's...
Yeah, but it's just the buffing shows the lines out really nice,
Yeah. So this is kind of like a little bit more antique because some of that clay pulled over the rest of the piece there. So this is how we're looking. Sandstone, amethyst, clay. Sandstone, amethyst, clay, sandstone. From the outside in. I'm going to take my reliefing block before it gets super dry here. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more clay to these portions here, because that's the color that I want to mesh the rest of my colors with. Just because it gives it just a little bit of that, it looks sun faded. That's the word I'm looking for. That sun faded look. You can tell that some of my clay ended up on my reliefing block. Might be the other one too. Yeah, I think it was like this one actually. So we're going to come in with our reliefing block. This will help shine up those lines here, those lines that are elevated above the paint. And then I'm going to do like a little bit of a clay wash afterwards with a bristle brush. Okay. Yeah, that's a good explanation, Vintage. I was just reading in on what they were saying there. A good old relief. Then we're going to grab a bristle brush. Dry that off because they've been sitting in some water here. This mandala eye is so pretty. Pick up some of that clay. Not a whole lot though, so I'm gonna pick it up and kind of brush it off on this towel here. And just do a clay wipe over top. Very light. It's like a clay dry brush. Or dry brush clay. I'm going to wipe with the paper towel, and then I'm going to come back in with my reliefing block. Just a little bit more here. Clay wash. Just because I didn't want anything super bright. But honestly though, I looked up pictures of mandalas as inspiration, and mandalas they usually use some pretty bright colors. But you guys know me, I don't like bright colors. I like things muted and washed. Just a little bit of clay there. Then I'm going to take my reliefing block once again. Carrie signed up! So fun. I'm kind of using like all sides of my reliefing block because this one I think is... Oh, I have a new one over here. I was like, that one... Oh yeah, I think this is the one that I actually used for. All of my reliefing blocks have some sort of clay on them. Nice. There we go. That's like almost identical.
So cool.
But that's how you get that.
How you
that
can
look.
replicate it. It wasn't hard to replicate.
Right. Nope, you just use sandstone, amethyst, and clay. And then after you do all of your colors, you're going to just do a tiny bit of that clay wash. And then it comes out so pretty. Probably could have left a little bit more of that purple on the second one, but I think it still looks pretty good. And then you punch your holes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll just do it here quickly. This is a little bit of a thicker piece, so if you want, you can use your screw down hole punch, but this one's not too hard to punch. So don't be afraid to just use your normal punch there. That one's a little off center, but that's okay. I like those. I like the look of things that are organic. Someone was saying that somebody was complaining that something wasn't like symmetrical or whatever, and I was like, I like asymmetrical. I don't like things that are perfect.
So Carrie, she quit the beatboxer. She's on the vintage train, she says.
Oh, heck yeah!
Climb aboard!
Choo-choo! I bet you'll have a lot more fun with us than you probably would with them, to be honest. So go through. You don't need Hulk muscles for these. There are some pieces that you definitely need, but this is thick, but this is probably like the nicest thick hole punch item that you can do. If you go too much thicker though, you'll probably need your screw down hole punch. There we go.
It would work, it's just faster. This is faster.
Yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then that will also be one of the items thrown in if you spend over $200. Those are mystery items. You don't get to pick which ones you get if you spend over $200. They're just thrown in your order as a nice little surprise. Because we love ya. All right. On to the next, because I need to keep rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. What's that song?
Rawhide.
Rawhide? Rolling, rolling. I love that. Okay.
Rawhide.
Pull that off to the side. We're going to we'll get into our crystals and our big necklace last. So we're going to pull out our pretty frames next here. So I did like a set here with those flowers. So earrings and a necklace. So cute. Gonna bring out that frame pack. Bam! 6 pieces for $20. This Bella. This frame we used in Bella quite a bit. So I would call it a quote unquote Bella exclusive. And then I also have another version with these pretty rivolis. So you can do it both ways. You can wrap around the frame, or you can do some pretty rivolis sitting inside of the frame. So pretty. So cute. Tina Turner, Rolling on the River.
Rolling on the river.
Yep, that's another one. I think there was like a bass fish, like a wall hanging bass fish. Is it Billy Bass?
Yeah.
I think
To the river.
Yeah.
Talking Heads.
Mm.
He did the Talking Heads song.
Mm-hmm.
Take me to the river.
My grandpa. Not grandpa.
Rock me in the water.
Or Grandpa Parker used to have one. I don't think
Grandpa Dad
did he?
Too. Yeah.
Maybe.
Everybody had one.
I was like, yeah. I've seen those so many different places. You don't see them now, but
Take me to the river.
We'd always go up and we'd hit the button, and then the fish would start moving and start singing. Oh yeah, that's a good idea too, though, Carrie. Make sure and it's a good thing that we have them saved on YouTube, so you can do that, because sometimes the lives disappear. But now that these are offered on YouTube, they shouldn't disappear anymore.
Actually, that's on Proud Mary.
Proud Mary. This is that frame up close, natural brass, slightly dapped, lots of detail and texture. So pretty, and it's got like these little flower tips there. on the inside. So cute. So, you can grab these. I'm going to pop up the solid brass flower. We have offered this one before, but this is always a go-to for wrapping. So pretty. It's one of my favorite pieces to use. You guys have seen me wrap with this a whole bunch of different times. So this will probably be a forever piece, as long as Corian says so, because it's one of her favorites.
and she does the ordering.
Yeah, I do the ordering, so you guys don't really have a choice.
She can sneak it in there.
That's going in, no matter what. Good thing we have some stock.
So we say, Corey!
What is this? Don't worry. Also, by the way, I think I have just ordered the Fairy Maiden and the other maiden, the two maidens that you guys have all been asking for. Those are on their way, so it shouldn't be too much longer before we have those introduced on the retail site.
Kimmy wishes she had an Uncle Buck.
I think everybody does.
Not everybody. I guarantee you.
It's not everybody.
I have first-hand knowledge that it's not everybody who wants that.
So funny. Okay, so this is the one with the Rivoli. I'm just going to show you that because you guys already know the F20 wrap. Super easy, just folding in those three corners. And then I use a jump ring. I flipped over my piece to this side. And then I used the flower to punch my hole through. So it would work perfect for a jump ring. There we go. To go through and to hang absolutely perfectly. So perfect. Love it. So you can do it that way. Or you can do it this way. So I have this one upside down. And then I have this one right side up. So we'll probably do the upside down one because it's a bit more complicated. This one, you're just sticking the tail through that bottom hole, wrapping the tail around, and then just folding over this top flower up there. So this one's such an easy construction. Don't worry if I'm not going to do this one today just because it's so easy to see, but I am going to do the upside down demo. So super easy, just sticking the tail through the end, wrapping it around, and then folding over that top flower. So easy. Then we're going to do the upside down flowers. This is a little bit more complicated. Not super, just a little bit. Let me grab my appropriate tools here. And then we'll dive into that last necklace offering. We're looking pretty good on time, so I'm going to take another drink of the Mountain Dew. Okay, such a pretty way of wrapping this. I want to see how many times I actually looped that. All right, take your flower here.
Oh yeah, Carrie's. Yeah, that was back in the day.
Oh, that was,
Mackie
yeah.
on JTV. That was a long time ago.
All right, we're going to stick our flower end through this top loop. I think I might have to actually extend it just a little bit because let me try this other flower.
Remember we used the girls for models for Bella. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Now I pulled some of those posters. I said, "Oh my gosh, it
They
looks
were
like they're
so young.
It looks like they're in middle school,
Just babies,
grade school. Those pictures are so young."
I think Ainsley was a Bella model, Mackie was a Bella model, and
Rose's daughter. I don't remember her name.
Oh shoot, I can't remember her name either. Noble.
Yeah, Rose Noble.
Karina. Yep. So Karina was a Bella model, and then Jess was also, and so was Allie. Allie Flack was a Bella model as well.
Yep, Allie, that's right.
Yep. I remember all of those because I worked in the store,
the
so
pictures
I
were
would
up
see
and
their
over, yeah.
faces every day. Every day. But it was so funny because the amount of people that would come up to me and ask if I was Mackie in those photos. And I was like, no, that's not me. That's Mackie. That's Mackie. But Mackie was so cute, and she is still super cute. All right, I need to extend this a little bit more with my awl so I can fit my tail end through there. There we go. Tail end goes through, and you're going to fold it with your fingers down. This flower here is going to come up and secure the bottom. So easy that I can just do it with my finger. You can do it, you can like clamp it down even more with your pliers, but it's so easy to maneuver the metal just with your fingers. Yeah, I think it was when you guys went to the Grand Canyon, because I think you guys took some photos there too. Those were my favorite of Ainsley, at least. Were the ones with her super pretty, like, flowy hair in the wind. Those were adorable. And just the field or whatever she was in was just so beautiful. I think don't we have some of those posters?
Yeah, I just pulled a bunch out.
We might have to show the ladies next week or something.
Ship them out to the crew out there.
Yeah. All right. So I'm taking my tail here that I have.
Your tail.
My tail that I have put through this hole there, and I'm making a loop. It's just a little blurry. There we go. I'm making a loop so it comes back through my main loop here.
Oh, that's a great question.
So I'm pushing it through.
Who caused the most ruckus? I don't think I should answer that question.
Out of all the kids, who caused the most ruckus? Out of who kids? Out of like all of the...
Out of Grandma Gretchen's kids.
Oh.
That's a great question.
I was going to say, if it was the cousins, I could probably answer that pretty quickly, but out of like the aunts and uncles, like you, Jean, Wendy, Dad,
we didn't have that many.
I would say probably Uncle Ed. No, for real.
Drama, the most.
Just from the stories that I've heard, but it's such a shame that I didn't really get to meet him. All right, so I'm going, now that I have this tail back through that loop there, I'm gonna make a loop going back behind for my jump ring. But out of us cousins, probably me, I would say. Who's caused the most ruckus? Yeah.
Well, I mean, define ruckus. Define that.
Getting in trouble. Getting in trouble.
I don't know. Spencer was there.
But did he get in trouble with the law?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What did he do? I need to know.
The kids. Well, first it was riding his bike and scraping curbs, with those pegs on the bike.
Oh.
The police pulled him over for that one, and then he got into with a bunch of kids, and they started taking those air filler caps off of the really expensive cars, and so they caught some of the kids doing that. Spencer was among them. And everybody is up there fighting for their kids. Oh, they didn't. You didn't. And I said, yeah, my son did that. he deserves whatever you got for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if he did it, I'm not going to try to get lawyer up and stuff. No way. He did it. So it's a good thing to learn a lesson on something trivial like that than to learn it the hard way when he's done something way worse.
When I was a kid, when I was like 16, 17, you would catch us, and no, nobody would catch us, but like we would be running from from the cops in Hanover just because we were doing like dumb things like shooting paintballs out of cars like at signs and things like that, and then the cops would be on our butts and we'd be running through yards like you can't get us blah blah blah.
Okay, so I guess I didn't, if you were to include the time that we spent growing up in the Chicago area, yeah, probably me.
Yeah, probably
me.
Yeah,
at least if you were to ask the neighbors, it would have been me. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely had several interactions with the law, that's for sure.
We just never got caught. We just...
Yeah. We were just running from the law, we didn't get caught.
We were always pranking, doing some pranks, doorbell ditching and all the things that kids do.
Yeah. Alright, so... we have completed our loop there on the back. I just wanted to make sure that you guys had seen that.
Hanover, Illinois.
Hanover, Illinois. It's literally like 10 minutes from here. It's Hanover and then Galena.
It's not on the map.
Yeah, no, you have to zoom really far in to see it. So if you find Galena on the map and then zoom in, then you'll be able to see it.
You have to really good zoom function on your map to see it.
That's where my little brother lives.
It's where you can't drop the Google guy.
Yeah.
They won't even have, what is it called? The Street View.
Oh my gosh, there was this TikTok that I had seen recently, and this lady was like, she was a larger set lady, but she was in like this workout attire, but it was like a sports bra and these leggings, and she was just super sweaty, super red face, and she's like, you guys, I can't believe this. The Google Maps car is driving by right now. So the Google Maps car, like, got her in her element. And she's like, no!
At least they blurred her face. Right?
Yeah. Hopefully. But she's like, if you guys see me on Google Maps, send it to me. She thought it was funny at the same time, but... oh, man. I love things like that. Alright, super easy to do. I'm glad that we got to chat a little bit about that. Oh, she's been through Hanover. So fun. Hanover is and can be so pretty. For real. Like, the river there is gorgeous. The waterfall's gorgeous. And then there's a whole bunch of wildlife. And then you can go out, like, towards Blanding's Landing. And it can be really pretty. But if you're on the wrong side of it, it can get very not pretty. There are some very not pretty places in Hanover.
Mississippi Palisades is a state park down there. Yeah,
yeah, that one's really pretty. But then if you go to the Manor, that's not pretty. Don't go to the Manor in Hanover. Don't do it. Hanover, Illinois. All right. Now that we've gone through that, we're going on to our last matter of business. Because I have, 20 minutes or so left. So, looks like we're running good on time. Look at this gorgeous chunky necklace. Love, love, love. Okay. So, we're going to bring out our crystal options, and we're going to bring out our main pendant for this. And you can see here that that's where I use the daisy washers. I'm going to slide those up there.
And you're on a fastening roll lately, aren't you?
Yes. I have, those flowers that I riveted together in the threes and stuff like that. I've just been in a trio mood.
Have you taken our stock all down on rivets? Have you gone through them all?
Nope. Well, because I only use just a few. We have quite a few rivets. We actually may need to get some more, though, if all these other ladies start riveting just like me. I love it. Okay. Pendant pack. 8 pieces. $20. Cart 110. I hope you guys love that little... I would probably be... in my direct family, the black sheep. Like, out of all the kids, I would be the black sheep. Just to put it in nicer terms. Thank goodness they didn't follow in my footsteps.
I wouldn't call it black sheep. I would just call it your personality would be opposed. Let's see. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Like, significantly different.
I don't know.
But then Caden, he's so different than the rest of us kids, like, in the way that he talks and the way that he does things, the music that he listens to. So crazy what just a few years can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't believe they're saying, like, 2007 was, like, 18 years ago? What? What? I'm gonna be 26 this year. I was born in 99. There's no way. No 26? Way. Yeah.
You almost caught up to half of me.
I'm gonna be 26 this year. Kieran is gonna be 24 this year. That's mind blowing. Caden's gonna be 18 in November, which is I just can't. I love you, Peggy. We're the Black Sheep Twins.
Carrie's catching up on the Google Maps.
Fun.
There's a famous one where there's a dude peeing next to his car on the driveway.
Oh, no way! That's so funny.
They blurred out the stream.
All right, so the Pen & Pack 8 packs, $20. We'll give you a little sneak peek of this. Oh, Monica's the only one that didn't get in trouble. Ooh. Have you ever heard
Didn't get caught.
Have you ever heard of the no broken bones theory? Like, if you've never had a broken bone, like, some people think that it's, like, so good to never have broken a bone, but they're just saying that, like, your life wasn't as exhilarating and yeah, exactly, than somebody who has broken a bone before. I've broken a bone. Haha. I'm part of that crew. Okay. So we have the pennant pack up there. I'm going to zoom up because we're going to bring on the crystal pack here. The first crystal pack that I have listed are 3 of each color here. And then the second pendant pack, I didn't have enough of the crystal color, and that one was selling out super fast. So I just thought that I should at least add the copper and the golden shadow as a separate listing, so ladies still had the opportunity to purchase, because some ladies, almost all the ladies, have been purchasing in packs of 2 for the crystals, so I wanted to make sure that some of you at least got some sort of opportunity to pick up a crystal pack for this necklace. So we are going to bring up, there's 3 of each for the first crystal pack here. So you get 9 pieces for $45. These retail for $10 a piece. Okay? So normally this pack would cost $90. It only cost $45. So we have this crystal color. It's like crystal clear, but all of these also have a frosted corner, which is my absolute favorite. I love the frosted corner. So pretty. And could you imagine wrapping some filigree around this? Look at those facets. Gorgeous. So that is the crystal clear color. This is the golden shadow color. This is like a warm champagne. Also tons of facets. This is the same crystal with that same frosted edge, just a golden shadow instead of that clear color. Oh, love it. I'm telling you guys, that frosted corner just makes the whole piece. And then we have this copper one. Once I stop pausing here. This absolutely stunning color edges, with the frosted edge. Yes. But look at the greens and the yellows, the blues, the pinks, and the copper that are pulling out of that pendant. Insane. And then the backside's a little bit more of that just straight copper. So you can do it either side, but that is just absolutely stunning. This is a gatekeep piece for Corian. There's not too many pieces that I can gatekeep, but this is definitely one of them. So I'm glad that you guys are picking these up. I'm gonna check our stock here. There are only 3 of this pack left. And then I have 9 of the other pack. So I'm gonna pop that up. So cart 111 for 3 of each color. copper, golden shadow, and crystal. Next copper pack that I'm putting up is cart 112. You are going to get 4 of the golden shadow and 4 of this copper. Okay? So there's no crystal clear option in this one. These are just the copper and the golden shadow. So you get 4 of each, 8 pieces for $40. So this would normally retail for $80, but you're getting it half off at $40. Absolutely stunning crystals. How did you actually break a bone while skydiving, Lisa? Because you're like, there's no good story behind it, but she tells people she does it, or she did it while skydiving. I have gone skydiving before. So for when Ian and I first got together several years ago, for my first birthday together with him, he took me skydiving. Absolutely exhilarating and probably the scariest thing that I have done. Jumping out of a freaking airplane.
Why do people do that? Why do you jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
So, funny story, Ian was working for Platinum, which is an insurance company, and he was on the road for a week. And he goes, Corian, I saw a YouTube video about skydiving, and he goes, I booked us tickets for your birthday. And I'm like, you did what? Non-refundable what? We have to go in the air? And there's no way, no chance in heck that you're going to catch me wasting money like that. Never in my life. So it was something that I absolutely had to do, but absolutely didn't want to do, but so grateful that I did.
We took up Carson up flying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and she said she wanted to be a pilot,
yes.
But I don't know, she might have come off of that a little.
Nope, she ended up being a bartender. Yeah.
Pilot's a little better.
She was making some pretty good tips, but she works at a she like does some shoe things now. She does things with shoes and packing up shoes at Nordstrom.
Peggy. Same.
Okay. So now that we've gone through those, I'm actually going to do the wrap technique with the washer here on the, I'm going to do it on the copper color because I have yet to even try that. So we're going to do it with the copper color. Okay, grab some HP2s, your head pins here. If I can lift up my stinking thing. There we go. HP2. This is a bit of a thicker, maybe. There we go. A thicker head pin than the other. So this is the head pin that we're using for our crystal. This is the head pin that we used for wrapping our tiny crystal or our tiny copper bead. So there you can really see a difference between the two. So we're using an HP2, the thicker version. Then we what? Zipline off a 53-story building? Where did you do that, Monica? That's so crazy, but something I probably would do rather than skydiving, to be honest. Ian said that he would absolutely go skydiving again. He loved it so much, but it just, I've seen so many bad skydiving videos that I've probably just traumatized myself. I'm not doing it again, but I'm glad to be able to say that I have done it. And Brittany,
Boxwicker.
She's going. She just messaged me. She goes, was the video and photo package worth it? I said, yes, absolutely. For your first time skydiving, we got a video and photo package done. So we could look back on the first time that we went skydiving, which is cool. Maybe I'll post something in the DIY Vintage group so you guys can kind of see how scared I really was. It looked like I was about to pass out, honestly, when we were first jumping out of the plane. Okay. So now that we have our washer with our HP2 slid through that hole, because this is a larger hole your head pin won't just sit there without the washer. And the jump ring size to find to fit these is kind of hard because you don't want to break the crystal. So just stay away from the jump rings on these until I find like a very suited size, unless you're not afraid. But sometimes I'm afraid. Okay, make sure that this gets in focus again. So I'm going to press the washer in with my finger, but at the same time I'm going to guide the head pin up the back of the crystal there. Okay, so we're looking at, stop pausing. There we go. We're looking like this right now. Then I'm going to do that same double loop technique that we showed on the, that crystal bead. But, yeah, no kidding. Vintage. I was absolutely so scared, but like I said, at least I can say that I've done it. Alright, so now we're holding pretty dang close. I wish this would start focusing more. I hate pausing this on you guys. Okay, we're holding it nice and close. We're going to do that same loop technique. We're going to wrap our head pin around, slide it in. Might have to clamp it in just a little bit more here. So I can get a little bit of a better grip because I want that double loop. Alright, grab my pliers here, squish them together. So I have my double loop still because it just keeps it that much more sturdy. And then I'm going to take that plier here and I'm going to bring the tail end and wrap it around that base of my two loops so it secures it. Trying to be careful of my crystal here. And squeeze my two loops together and get them more rounded out. And then I need to take off my tail end that's poking out. I don't want to get too close to my crystal because it looks like I chipped it just a little bit, but that's okay. Now that you're here, I think I had these folded, so I'm going to grab it and I'm going to twist it and then kind of fold it up just a little bit. I'm going to try and bring in this tail just a tiny bit more. So then we have a good securing loop at the top. And then I took a hole punch here. Dang it, where's my hole punch? There it is. At the bottom of my piece, and I'll show you how to rivet these together. Like this. I took a link from the chain, which is probably the only thing that I forgot to bring out here. So I'm actually just going to take a link off the top of my chain because I do need to add a clasp to this anyway, and I know I'm going to have to unlink it to show you guys it on. So I'm just going to take the link off, slide the link through the crystal loop that we have created. You're probably going to have to extend this hole down here at the bottom. Yes, Lisa, we do. Vintage, do you mind putting the tools, category linked?
I'll do it. Here.
So I'll see who gets to it first, Doug or Vintage.
Because I'm not. You don't have a tab open for Vintage, or do you here?
There you go.
Tools. I can just go.
Jewelry supplies. Hand tools. Perfect. Copy paste. Hurry up! We gotta beat him. Enter.
Did I get it? Yeah, there it is.
It's posting. There we go. We got it first. We beat you to it.
Race. It was a race.
I love that fun thing. Those fun little things. All right. I'm going to complete this.
Is the chain in the warehouse store?
By closing. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I don't know if the gold is.
You can shop also on the other sites.
Just look up CH0011. Enter. It might be 10. Nope, that's it. Perfect. There we go. So Doug is putting the link to the chain style right now. So that's coming in there. It's CH0011. The one that I'm working on right now is gold, and then we have a couple other colors that I think are up there.
Who's monitoring vintage? Is it Jean?
It might be Jean.
I'm storytelling at the same time. That's multitasking.
We're all multitasking. No, it's just fun. It was just a fun little competition. Okay. Then you're going to take an additional hole punch it. Do your crystal stuff last. But I just wanted to make sure that I got that on screen for you guys. Like this. So you're going to do a hole on one side, a hole on the other side, and then you're just going to rivet them together. And you guys have already seen me rivet, which is the same thing, nothing different. If you need to, just cut just a tiny bit of your rivet. Now I'm saying rivet.
Shorten it, right?
Yeah, shorten your rivet just a little bit, not too much. And then you'll be able to mushroom over top. You can put it through the hole
in the layers before you cut it, and that'll tell you how long it should be, right?
Yes.
Put it through first.
Yes.
Cut it while it's through.
Yep.
And then
but not too short because you still want it to mushroom over top.
You want to have enough metal left over, but you can have maybe a 1/16 of an inch sticking through there.
So Jean's working on a new product release. I sent her out a bunch of new frames and some other things for her to add to the website. I believe one of those things are slider beads. Keep your eyes open for the product release because it's going to be awesome. But anyway, you're going to rivet those two together. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hole punch and then hole punch on another piece. Rivet those together. Super cute. I just wanted to make sure that I showed you how to do the little washer wrap with the crystal, which is far more important. And then for the chain here, I used tiny jump rings. Once these load, there we go. I used tiny jump rings to kind of do this like layered look almost of the chain coming down through each of the pendants. And then I use that because it kind of looks like the chain is being continued through the piece. Now, this is what it would probably look like without that. Super pretty either way. So you could do it without the chain. We'll tuck that behind there. You don't have to have the chain. But I thought it was super cute because it looks like the chain is going throughout the whole piece. Kind of like that. So you can do it either way. Doesn't matter. But once again, that chain is CH0011. And then we have those crystal packs that we used with it. Debbie said that's her favorite piece. I'm going to pop that up. Mine, too. Other than... Which one did I say was my favorite? I don't even know.
Everything you do.
I was like, I don't even know which one's my favorite anymore.
Everything you do is your favorite. I love that piece. My favorite.
Love it.
Every piece.
I really do like those raindrop blanks though. Those are so fun. And that technique. But like the mandala bracelet, so cute. Everything's so cute. All right. So it looks like we have 28 heart reactions and 6 likes so far. This is gold. This is plated 10K matte gold, I believe, but I have 10K like a more shiny gold on the warehouse site. So you can do it either way. I know we do offer it in natural brass and possibly solid brass on retail, but I'm not sure if we're out of stock, so I might have to take a peek at that for you guys.
So we're coming up on the wear it.
Yeah.
Let's show the.
I'm gonna show them where they have to like it first.
Yeah, show them that. Show them the giveaway, and then then we'll do the wearing.
Yes.
And, fun stuff.
All right. Now that we have completed that portion of the live, I'm gonna go into my other thing. Okay. I'm gonna pull this off. I'm gonna can pull that charger off now because we're at the end. Okay. So at the end of each live, we're doing a little giveaway. This is a scoop. Not little. I always say little, but like a cute giveaway for anybody that heart reacts any roll antique brass chain. Not for this chain specifically. I don't, but we do have it in natural brass. Ooh, that's good lighting right there. That's so pretty. Yeah. Okay. So
how do you qualify?
To qualify, you see this little heart button down there? You have to do this heart button. There we go. Just love it. Click it. And then that will get you entered into the big, massive giveaway.
And you have to...
For this.
Purchase to win it?
Yes, you have to purchase to win it.
Purchase something.
Purchase something, yes. From, like, this week's live, or, I mean, anything on the live shop. As long as you purchase something on the live shop, you're good. Don't you worry. All right, we're going to do the look first while you guys are loving.
And if the person who wins it doesn't end up purchasing, we'll have 2 drawings the next week.
Yes. So if somebody doesn't claim it, then we will save that for the following week, and then we'll have 2. Like we did last week.
Yep.
But I have no doubt that you guys will be doing this perfectly this time. So make sure you get your loves in. We're going to do the little look for the jewelry, and then we'll do that. So that'll give you just a little bit of time to get your heart reactions in, and then we'll do our drawing. So actually, we'll probably start off with some of this stuff here. Some of the first things that we did. This one also is not going to fit over my head. This is why you guys need to buy the finished necklaces and finished bracelets, because then you're going to be doing what I do. Going to find the middle, cut it, and then hold it up. Because I always forget to add clasps beforehand. Always. Gotta come down to this level, and remember that I might need to turn off this light, actually. So it darkens up a little bit. Probably could have put that. No, we'll go backwards. This way. Okay. There we go. I was like, I'm lifting up the wrong side.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
It's kind of like...
Let me just hold the camera on you?
Sure. Make it at least a little bit.
That's easier.
Hold on. Okay, that's middle. So that is the first one with... I don't know why it's reflecting so
the reflection.
bright.
I'm trying to get an angle where it
right on that stinking...
There
we go. That's a good one.
Right there. Yeah.
So this is the framed look. So cute. And then we'll let Uncle Doug just hold the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Make me feel like a model. Make me feel like a model.
Do your necklace to cut again?
Yeah, probably. I might as well, because I'm going to have to add clasps to these
Do we have to blur out Mountain Dew in the picture? Do we have to pay them for it?
No. They have to pay us.
Yeah.
Those stinkers. All right, this is the... Once it gets flipped around. The flower with the frame. So pretty. If it will stick in focus. Lovely. Okay. Then we have, I'll just do the bracelets here. My cute little, I'm just going to hold these together. This is the swirl butterfly bracelet.
There it goes.
There, that's pretty. So cute. I love how dainty it is. We have that one. And then we'll do the mandala eye next. And get her unclasped. This has our 3-way chain.
It's still there. Yeah, look at
That's
how pretty that color is.
gorgeous. That color is absolutely perfect for summertime. So cute. And then we'll do some earrings, and then we'll do that last crystal necklace. Don't get my nose. You know, funny story. The cousins. Oh,
that's nice.
They used to bully me for my nose. Those jerks. They don't do it now, obviously, but when we were kids, the cousins would bully me. But my grandma said it was beautiful, so that's all that mattered. I miss Grandma. She was my favorite. We have this earring. So pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that Rivoli. That's stunning. And then we have one more. We're going to do the teardrop ones with the feather. Ooh. That's that color. Really pretty.
You have to turn it a little bit, rotate it a little bit.
Maybe like that way? Or no, the other way?
Just a little bit. Because the
reflection. Let me see if the other one actually... The other one might pick up a little better. This one doesn't have an ear wire, though. I can move my... No. There we go.
The hair's all around.
Oh, I know, all my hair. I can't help it. I mean, I could probably cut it, but no. Forever. Okay. I have one more. That big crystal necklace, and then we'll be all good to go. One. I love this. At least I'm wearing something that's like a little bit better for this. But that is gorgeous. My big chunky princess necklace. So Ian and I have been rewatching Game of Thrones and House of Dragons, and this is like something that Khaleesi would probably wear when she was like all dolled up. Don't worry, Ian's phenomenal. He and I both kind of look away from those grody scenes. Love that. Such a big, bold statement piece. And could you imagine that you could probably do one of each of the colors, too, if you got the trio. Like one crystal, one copper, and one of the golden shadow. If you got 2 packs, you can do 2 on either side, then you can do your center a little bit different. So many options, you guys. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. I had a blast with you today. So we're going to take a peek into who gets this giveaway that we're shaking up. You love that sound.
Shake it up. Everybody got their loves in and your likes?
Get your loves and likes in. We're going to refresh. This bead is so pretty. Hold on. This better, focus here. Maybe not. That bead is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. So you have a 1 in 33 chance to get this gorgeous selection. You guys, I'm so excited. All right.
Okay, you're going to...
Ready? Uncle Doug's closing his eyes, and I'm not even looking, and he's going to just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Debbie! Woohoo! Is it Archibald or Archibald?
Archibald.
Because it could be both ways. Archibald. You get it, you win. We'll copy your name here and make sure that you're in here with us still.
Yeah, let's just make the comment on there.
Yeah, Uncle Doug's gonna do that for us, I think, here. So right in that one. Yeah. Woohoo! Debbie won today. Yes, she's in here. Love it. So you get this. Hold on, I'm gonna show you one more time because I have to. So everybody knows how to do this next week. Look at all that such gorgeousness. Oh, I need to turn on my light. I just got like a spider web on my face or something. Might just be one of my hairs. So super great selection. Super cute items. And I'm so glad that you won it today. I'll flip that over. I think this was one that we had at Backstage Pass at one point. That's actually a big
offering. Look at all those focals you got. All those pendant
I think
pieces.
this one's actually smaller than the one that I last did.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't fill up the cup as much because there were so many little big ones. Yeah. But this frame, Debbie, is to die for. I love it. Imagine putting something like that in it. Actually, that'd be cool. As long as if it was smaller. But I'm glad that you won today. So congratulations, Debbie. And good luck to everybody next week. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We will see you on Monday for the warehouse loot review. So be ready for that. Ainsley is going to demonstrate some things and chat a little bit more about it. So I'm super excited to see what she would do with it because I get to pick out the pieces and then she is going to do all the little experimenting things with it and go over each of those individually. So thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
Have a nice weekend.